back to Gaya's English Garden. Today, let's review the active and the passive voice. What is the active and the passive voice? The active and the passive voice is used to discuss a subject that is unknown, unimportant, or to avoid blame. We don't know who, we don't care who, and we won't say who. The passive voice is formed using to be plus a past participle. The steps to convert an active voice sentence to the passive voice. Here is our example sentence. In the active voice, the children ate the cake. And in the passive voice, it should be the cake was eaten by the children, by them. Notice how the object of the active voice became the subject of the passive voice. But how? Firstly, identify the subject, the verb, and the object of the active voice sentence. For example, the children ate the cake. The children, subject, ate, verb, and object, the cake. Secondly, move the object to the position of the subject in the new sentence. That means now we will start the passive voice sentence with the cake instead of the children. Next, identify the verb tense. Our verb is ate, and it is a past simple verb. And then add the verb to be. Use the same tense as the verb from the active voice. We identify that the verb ate is a past simple verb. Therefore, the past simple tense verb to be is was. Next, change the main verb to the past participle form and add the verb to be after. Past participle form for ate is eaten. Then add the verb to be. It should look like ate equals to was eaten. What to do with the subject of the active voice, the children? If you decide to keep it, you need to add by plus the subject. Or you can just exclude it. Do not add it because it's not necessary. Let's look at some examples. The thieves have stolen my uncle's car. Active voice sentence. Identify the parts, thieves, subjects, have stolen, verb, object, my uncle's car. So the verb tense identified is the present perfect tense. In the passive voice, the sentence becomes, my uncle's car was stolen by thieves. Right? The form that we used, the object is now the new subject in the passive voice, as a verb to be, as a past participle. And optional, you can add the new object. Alright, example 2. Active voice. We made lots of tamales for Christmas. Subject we, verb made, object lots of tamales for Christmas. Right? Changing it to the passive voice. Lots of tamales were made for Christmas. Optional by us. The object is now the new subject. That's a verb to be as a past participle. And optional and object. Now you try. Here's a practice. Can you identify all the parts of the sentence and the verb tense? Active voice sentence. She will clean her room on Saturday. identify all the sentence parts and the verb tense. All right. She is the subject. Will clean is the verb, which is in future simple. Her room is the object. Right, her room on Saturday. Right, remember the steps that we learned to convert. First, our object becomes the new subject. Second, the verb to be in the same tense as the active voice verb. Third, change the main verb to the past participle. Add your complements, and optionally, you can add your subject, which becomes the new object. So now, the object of the passive voice. What is the answer? She will clean her room on Saturday in the active voice. And the passive voice becomes her room will be cleaned on Saturday, optional, by her. Great job, guys. Right, let's recap. To change an active voice sentence to the passive voice, the object becomes the subject. The verb to be is in the same tense as the active voice verb. Number 3, we change the main verb to a past participle form. We add a complement if there is one. And lastly, our subject becomes the object. And this is optional. All right, extra. Here is a summary of how verbs can be changed according to the tense when converting sentences from the active voice to the passive voice. In future, simple. Will do is in the active voice becomes will be done in the passive voice. Future progressive, will be doing in the active voice becomes will be being done in the passive voice. Just note, this tense is hardly ever used in the passive voice and it can be a little bit challenging. All right, moving on. In the present simple, do in the active becomes is done in the passive. Present progressive, am doing in the active becomes is being done in the passive. Past simple, did in the active becomes was done in the passive. Past progressive tense, was doing in the active becomes was being done in the passive voice. In the present perfect, have done becomes has been done in the passive. For past perfect tense, had done in the active becomes had been done in the passive voice. For future perfect tense, will have done in the active voice becomes will have been done in the passive voice. For future, using be going in the active voice, going to do in the passive voice is going to be done. Right? For modals, simple modals, for more must do, must have been done. Right? And the modals, for perfect tense modals, we use should have done, for example, in the active voice, and in the passive voice becomes should have been done. There we go, that's the end of the video or the lesson. For more practice, join the mailing list in the description to receive a free practice and a mini quiz to test your knowledge and what we have learned in this lesson. Don't forget to like the video and to subscribe to the channel for more short and understandable lessons. If you have any questions, drop them into the chat. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lesson. Bye!